Well, good evening. You're very welcome to the Masters Championship for round number 12 of Division 2 here at Budapest for the Hungarian Grand Prix. My name is Graham, and joining me tonight is Joe, left back in the changing room, core boy. Hello, Joe.
Hello, Graham. Nice to be back.
Yeah.
After a long time.
It has been a while, probably since the early season, but hey, we'll make it have our fun with it. So delayed start, apologies. We've got 12 minutes left because both of us didn't have game sound when we joined the lab itself, which is fantastic. So, but we're here now. The only thing we missed is that Caesar's out of qualified session, reserving tonight. I believe well, Joe says he went off at sector 2, so I'd guess turn 4 or 5, but I guess more so 4. But he is one of a few reserves tonight. Just a couple of others. Beano Man 1993 in the Williams is a reserve, as is D-Bear in the Renault, and unsafe release as well in the Haas, also reserving for tonight. So plenty of change. Obviously, we're just watching Merck here off on the grass. His former teammate rather, Team C Wesker, is now in Division 1. I think that pretty much wraps up the rest of the changes. Obviously, we know last week from some of these switched cars. Obviously, Jono and Dan in the Mercedes, Tom in the McLaren now, but as you know, things have changed now since Wesker has left. 74 there coming from SH. So Joe, if you'd like to take us through the standings as they currently are.
Yeah. SH first with 152 points. Venom with 96 points. Dan Morris with 90 points. TMC Weiberg with 75 points. Birch with 64 points. Merck 61 points. Zlatan with 58 points. Fucky here. 43 points. Mark the Man with 37 and Timo with 34 points. Constructors, Ferrari with 168 points. Red Bull with 154. Toro Rosso with 139. Mercedes with 120 and Williams with 61.
So Williams taking a bit of a hit there, obviously, with Wesker. Wesker leaving. So as we see Matter off the track here at this is turn 1 actually. So big gap there obviously for SH after last week's race. Obviously things went his way. He went to won the race obviously in the wet in Hockenheim. You mentioned the difference in the points, Joe. Is there any way do you think that anyone else can catch up to SH and make a run this title, or does last week's race kind of just put it away?
I don't know. I didn't even see last week's race. Well, look, reading down through the standings, I think he's halfway away with it. I think he's nearly there. But if there's a few incidents tonight, he might, left lose at start.
Right, so there's plenty of races left, obviously.
Yeah, there's what, 7, 10, 9. I don't know. I don't know I don't know how many races are in the calendar. That's the thing.
There's 21 races. This is round 12.
So there's 9. I think by Italy, if he continues to win, he'll have it wrapped up by 100%. The win tonight, it'll be wrapped up.
A win tonight and it'll be wrapped up?
Well, might as well be. I don't think anyone can stop him.
Right, so the gap is 56 points with, 9 races or so remaining. So, but look, at the end of the day, there is 25 points going for a win. 3 bad races or 3 weeks he's not able to show up, and that's pretty much, that can swing it right there. But yeah, like the form he's in, he's pretty consistent showing up. You would imagine that he would, be able to see this through. I think, like the next few races would be important. Again, if like you said, if you could make it to Italy and still be in good form, having not lost a few points, maybe even extending his lead in the standings, then yeah, by Italy, it could be a tough one to overturn. But we'll see what happens. I think it also helps his title chances that there's 2 people chasing around him once. He's obviously got Venom and Dan there in close proximity. Well, not close proximity, but they are second and third in the standings. They are separated by 6 points. and
Yeah.
with two drivers taken away from, it's a classic kind of 2007 F1 Championship thing where you had Alonso and Hamilton, against Raikkonen. There's more people to try and take points. That generally helps the person who's in the lead.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. Obviously, a difficult race this one, 35 laps to negotiate. Both you and I did not do that last night.
No, we did not.
Both in turn one. So it's a tough one to get through as Focky goes in ninth here. But looks like it's going to be a dry run in the race. Most people going for the hards and softs at the moment. Jono's here on his outlap very early actually on mediums. Would you say maybe, Joe, anyone that is coming out on mediums right now, maybe gearing towards a soft run by the end of the session?
I think, yeah, I think so. Who, what? Tom Brady, Dono, and Dino, man, on the outlap now. So, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'll go on board with Jono here. Kind of a lot of people in the pits or slash on their out or in laps. You see teams these laps out 6 laps on the hard, so just showing you kind of what the people going long on in this session rather, because again, you don't really want any parts of the softs, so you're limiting yourself to just your 2 main runs on your hards and your mediums. We're going forward, Jono. See what happens. See what he can do. So 17.4 is the lead in lap on the hards, and that is obviously by SH. Quickest lap on the 7 mediums was a 19.6 by D-Bear in 17. So this will be the first proper running of a medium lap. So we'll try and take it through it. Turn 1 goes down to first there. Does Jono on the power very early. Not sure if he uses medium TC or not, but that looked very optimistic on the power. And down to third, even down to second even, to try and get into turn 2. And the quick right of 3, and then probably the most difficult, well, one of the most difficult corners on the track, turn 4. Can't really ride it as he wants to. You have to scrub off a lot more speed this time around. Turn 5, don't touch the inside curb. You will spin very, very quickly, and then the exploitable chicane of turns 6 and 7. Not on the first bit, but the second bit you can see he just drives over it. You can't do that on the entry, but you can do it on the exit, then twisting through the rest of sector 2. And then the key corner coming up to turn 11, the right-hander. Down to 5th, fully back on the power then by the end of it. He's 5/10 up on his lap, which you would expect. See if he could get into the 16s here as he heads through sector 3. Difficult corner at this second to last one. Sometimes it can be difficult to try and nail perfectly and get on the power as soon as possible, and then same with the last corner as well. They're quite similar in many ways. He opens the DRS, he comes across the line, Joe, to set a 1:16.9.
I think that it's good banker. I think he'll come in. I think he might put on soft.
Merck's also on a set of meters at the moment. He's got time. I think he's actually on a lap at the moment. He may have bailed on this one. He's got traffic coming through. I believe there's a Ferrari. Is that SH? No, it is not. It is Yaram, who is actually on his flying lap. One of the few, well, the only driver who's still running in this session yet to set a time at all. Obviously, Caesar didn't get a chance to. So it's a late one. Oh, look at that. Yellow flag in sector 1, 2, and 3. That's beautiful. Yaram then comes across the line, set his time, and it's a 17.5 on the hard, straight up beside his teammate. That's a good lap from him. Merck is beginning his lap, but he's not got a lot of ERS here. He's going to run out of ERS by the end of this one.
Jeez, he triple up shifted there. Holy God.
Oh, drifts a bit wide through turn 2. Goes back in. See what his approach is for turn 4. That is definitely an invalidation. Didn't even downshift to 6th, and yeah. That'll do that. Jono's going for another run. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do, if he can improve on his time. Already man into the 60s. Mark de Man getting close to the end of his lap. The Alfa Romeo. So the guys leave themselves plenty of time. Maybe not for a set of soft, but because it's a difficult track as Mark de Man goes up to second place, 17-1 there on mediums. It's a difficult track because it's in that awkward place where you just run out of ERS to go for a second consecutive run. So it's basically just under 50 or so,
Yeah.
or high 40 or whatever, and you can't go back to back. So you see, you have plenty of time then to obviously have a cool down lap, and then obviously
Dan Morris is
go
just
for it again.
flying here. It's 17, 16.
Oh, 3,000s quicker than his teammate. And he goes into pole position, but I suspect, Joe, these Ferraris are going to have something to say about it before it's all said and done. Trafficking out of turn 1. Venom, you want to watch. He's coming through turn 11. Not the best race for him last time out. 7.10s would take him very, very close to where Dan and Jono are. So if he can gain anything else out of this lap, he should be looking good for a provisional pole. With just 2 minutes left, so he has time for a cool down lap, and then a chance for one more. Oh, and Matter's got a 5 place grid penalty. 16.5 for Venom. That's a bit more like it. So a collision there with Matter and Merck. Matter's got the penalty. Merck is off the track. I'm not sure what he's playing at. I don't think he's got a wing. But anyways, time is ticking, and SH then on the mediums rather coming through. Sector 3, can't spend too much time on Merck's car, but not looking great. If that wing's broken, then he's not going to be going any further in this session. But how about SH then? 16.5 is the benchmark from his nearest title rival. What can he respond with as he opens the DRS, comes across the lines at 16.8? He slots himself onto this front row and be touching. Oh, he's got. I don't think he's gonna. No, I think that's to be his last chance, because he's just crossed that line with 1:15, 16, 17 left, and he's not gonna be able to save enough ERS to get across. Yeah, so that's it for him. Weiberg has just jumped up to 8th here, I believe, and that'll be his last run. So you can pick up anyone. Team Zlatan's off the track, but he's off at the second to last corner. Sector 2.
That was the turn 1, the curve. That's
turn 4. See yellow flags here on board with Matter. See Timo's car in a second. Oh, there it is. Yeah, very much so.
Curve spat him out basically.
We've got Beano Man here coming at the last corner. We're now VRS very early somehow. And it's a 20.2 on the medium tyres. Unsafe release as Adibaba retires from the session in P6. 17.1 for him. 17.8 for the Haas, who is coming up in the end of a lap. Dan Mars must be pretty close. He's going through sector 2. SH, we know, isn't going to get another lap in. Focky's got up to 6th. Who else does come across? Matter. As checker flag is now out, so you can see the people who have already finished on their laps. Here's Matter then from 17th to do a good qualifying position. He's only up to 12th. A 17.6 for him. Where's Dan Morris? He'll be pretty close there. Jono then couldn't improve. He's still in P6. His teammate is going to pull into the pits. See what he has done. Burt has launched himself into the top 3. Yaram coming through the last sector. As is Adam, you're right. He's running out of ERS though, but he's up on this time. As I think that was Tom Preacher that went up to 10th place there. And Adam can improve to 11. That might be a blessing in disguise in many ways. See what Yaram can do. And he's the last one then, isn't he? Or is there Focky on the lap as well? Focky is on a cooldown lap, which means this should do it right here. And Yaram has a good chance for a slot on the front row on his hards, but he can't find the improvement he needs on the mediums. He starts 6th. And it's very, very close between basically Burt onwards down towards even towards Focky there. Even Adibaba in 8th place, but that, Joe, is going to do qualifying. Any shocks?
Yeah, yeah. I thought Zlatan would go into top 10. Sure. Racing had his, Timo had his crash. He wasn't looking forward to it. His pace. Yaran did well though, with his 1 lap on the hards and then on the mediums.
Yeah, kill a lap on the hards, but Venom is going to be on pole position here by quite a convincing margin in the end. He is ahead of SH. Burt then in 3rd place, good for qualifying for Burt. Dan in 4th, ahead of his teammate John in 5th. Yaram then in 6th. Focky in 7th. Adibaba 8th. Mark Demand 9th. Weiberg Randy at the top 10. Tom Pretty in a good little spot in 11th, as is Team Zlatan in 12th. Merck 13 then didn't get chances to do anything on his his mediums rather. Matter will have a grid penalty, so I'll approach unsafe release ahead of him. Timo then behind that. Brett 16th, D-Bear 18th, and Bino 19th, or 18th rather, and obviously, no, Caesar will be 20th actually, because Matter will be 5 places down on his 14th position.
So, race predictions.
Race predictions. Difficult to overtake. Undercut's quite strong.
Incidents, turn 1.
So I'm going, it's either, well, it's a toss up between Venom and SH for me. And I'm going to say that I'll go to say SH for this one.
Right, well, I'm going for Bert.
Bert from 3rd on the grid.
Yeah. He's impressed me for the last few weeks, I guess.
He has been good. He's gained a bit more authority in the inter-team battle. He was quite close with Weiberg there, but now, yeah, has another chance to get a good result here today at Hungary. So
Focky has impressed me as well this season as well.
He has been good. As we get away on the formation lap, we can see what the stories with the strategy and right. So obviously no one on the softs. Tom Pretty going for the hards, as is Merck from 13th. Timo, Matter and Caesar going with the hards as well. So medium tires then for Adam, unsafe release, Brett, D-Bear and Bino. We've got a couple of naughty people sat on the grid. I think Merck is one of them. No, he's not. His teammate is. And D-Bear also not moving off the line either. So then, no, I guess it could be minor surprise that Tom Pretty's on the hards there in 11th.
Yeah, I thought he would start in mediums. Then hards will take a bit to warm up now.
Yeah, he's also got his advantage that he's got all the cars behind him. You know, there's only like it's split. You know, he goes Adam on mediums, Merck hards, unsafe release mediums, Timo on hards. So he might be lucky in that sense. But as we saw yesterday, if a little train emerges in the midfield, then obviously it's difficult to overtake around here. You might be better off on the hards if you're stuck in that train. Obviously you can go a bit later, and obviously can obviously go long. Obviously it gives you a good chance in case a safety car comes out. Always a possibility.
Yeah. No safety car came out last night, did they?
No, it did not.
Stupid.
So we'll see what happens. I haven't seen many safety cars around here, to be fair, but we'll see how it goes as Venom then leads them round the second to last corner. See a nice camera shot of that. SH close on his heels. Grid nice and compact, though I do see an Alfa Romeo spun. Nice Adi Baba. So, props to him.
Players will be baked.
Not too bad. Beams. So, right, really. Anyways, Venom, SH, the rest of the grid will take up a decent run down to turn 1. So opportunities are there, but also a very dangerous turn 1 as well. For instance, quite often you see them here at Hungary. So we shall see, Joe. Oh, there's McLaren. I know he doesn't have control of his car. It just looked like the McLaren seat was about to have a spin there. But obviously he's no control at that stage. But here we go then. 35 laps around Hungary should be a hoot then. 5 red lights. And away we go. We have a jumper already, but that's a good start for SH. Could be already pulling alongside. Oh, and Venom giving them the squeeze, but SH going to have the inside line down to turn 1. This should be fairly uncontested for him. See two Mercedes close. One be having a look on. I think that's going to be Dan. There's a little bit of contact there, but regardless, SH is through. And he leads into turn 2 behind him.
Carnage. Matter's in the wall. No, Brett is in the wall. Adam and him must have had a coming together.
Ooh, Mercedes side by side. Yaram on the outside heading up towards turn 4 with Jono. And he makes the move but runs wide. That might be a warning, but we'll see. But still going at it side by side. And now Yaram eases into that position. So that is P6 for P5 rather for Yaram demoting Jono to P6. Bit of carnage here in the midfield, just where you can see Matter and bit of contact between Bino and Matter. Adam as well getting there. Oh, there's a spinner. Matter is round, Bino is round, and D-Bear's hit into him. So that good stuff there And Brett is out of this race as Team Lux go on the attack on Caesar. At the front, it's basically Yarm trying to push Dan around that second to last corner. See what his straight line speed is like. Of course, no DRS in these first 2 laps. But at the front, SH 0.6 of a second clear, and then Venom 1.1 clear of Bert then. And then you have Dan, Yarm, Jono, and then the 2 Alfa Romeos, Weiberg and Focky. Around you have the top 10, you see the people in the pits there. And yep, another penalty for Bino. But the best stars. Dan Morris goes very, very wide at turn 2, but Yarm not close enough to take advantage this time around. He's been getting the slipstream heading up towards turn 4, but won't be able to do anything as of yet. 2 Alfa Romeos very close as well. Adi Baba just ahead of Mark Demand on this occasion. You can see the position changes in the first lap. Plenty still to come, of course. But at the moment, SH hasn't really dropped Venom out of his DRS. And Venom will be looking a lot more comfortable than Bert might. Though Bert is close, actually, just about to drop out of DRS. And again, Dallas go defensive. Yarm go around the outside. Oh, bit of contact. Bullied his way past, but Yarm is through on Dan. So Yarm here, Joe, showing his pace early on.
Yeah. He wants that podium. He wants it.
SH sets the fastest lap of the race. We have Tom and unsafe release in the pits, isn't it? You want to check out Joe if they're replace any wings, but lap 3 then, DRS is now enabled. So that will, well, you can mostly from 3rd downwards, almost 4th downwards, will be a, see how much of a factor it will be. Venom then still just about hanging to DRS of SH, but not quite, just about there, as Yarms is just trying to creep into Bert's DRS, and down behind that. Then you have obviously the two Mercs, 2 Alfa Romeos. Should be interesting, although Venom has caught up to SH a little bit more on this lap, just 0.5 of a second.
Unsafe release had a wing change. Tom didn't.
Okay, that's unfortunate for Tom. He's on hards. So starting from 11th then, that's a tough one. And there's more. It's just Tom and unsafely getting by Bino, and that's for P7, for P15 rather, in 16. But here we go then. See how Venom gets on with his first crack of DRS. He's 0.5 or so behind SH. He sets the fastest lap in the process as well, so it was a good lap. He was making up time, but not making enough time to make a move into turn 1. Same with Yaram. Bert not close enough at this stage. Mark Demand closing in on his teammate, but again, not close enough. So DRS not really having too much of an effect early on, but that being said, Yarm's reeling in Bert, and Bert has left the space, and Yarm's going to go down the inside. It comes the outside for turn 3. Good space left, and Bert is still ahead for the time being, but under increasing pressure, as is SH at the front here, to be fair.
Yeah.
So see what happens. Oh, you can see where Venom's getting a bit of a better run on SH. So if he sticks within this range, he's gonna have a good opportunity. But he's used a lot of his ERS compared to, actually SH has used a lot of his ERS compared to Venom. So Venom in a really good spot here early on, and they've already dropped Bert 3 seconds. You see Bert is obviously under his own, has his own battle going on. It's a bit of a train, isn't it, from Bert downwards pretty much.
Yeah. Down the whole way down to Caesar.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Adam.
But here he comes then, Venom with the DRS this time around. SH jinx to the right, forcing Venom to go around the outside. They try to switch back. Is there contact a little bit? But Venom gonna try again into turn 2. SH goes defensive, and Venom jinx to the inside for 2, but it's going to be difficult because SH will have the racing line out of it. As they climb up the hill then, SH again under pressure. Venom has to back off on the throttle and leave it for another time round. So increasing pressure then for Venom on SH.
Yes. You got a serious run over that turn though.
He
You
did.
have to push him up there. Oh, no man.
SH positioned his car fairly well and keeps the position this time around, but they are losing a bit of time this lap around. You see Bert's actually close half a second this lap just by virtue of Venom being held up here a bit by SH. Gap was around 3 seconds. Bert holding on to his P3 for now though, but again, it's only a matter of time. We know how difficult overtaking is here.
Oh,
And Tom
Tom
Pritchie is out. Where is that? That's turn 4, I believe. Yep.
Yeah.
You can see it there. Again, SH gets a good run out of that last turn, but is it enough of a run to create enough space for Venom to make an overtake? SH has left the door open into turn 1, so he's confident that Venom wouldn't have a go this time around. And Bert and Yaram. Yaram's gone deep into 1. Bert's going to have the much better run, but he's not going to have the DRS. And I think Yaram's going to take this place. The two Alfa Romeos, look like they switched as well, have they? I believe Martin was behind Adibaba, but there you go, maybe a tactical switch as well. They are losing touch with DRS. Mark Demand 1.6 now behind John Ozzy, down right behind Bert as well. So let's see how much of any Yaram can clear. Oh, bit of twitch for Yaram there. You see Bert had to get right off the throttle, and that put him under pressure to Dan, but can't make the overtake. Oh, beautiful helicopter shot. Gonna stick with this. I know there's Venom and SH in front, but this is too nice to pass up. So head through turn 11. So you can see, even with that mistake, Yarm's already nearly pulled a second, and you'd have to imagine that Bert may be the one that's holding affairs here. But we'll see if he can defend again, as Venom has another opportunity this time around with DRS and is put down to the lower deployment, so has chosen not to go for it. But let's see then. See, actually John was quite close to Dan, but a good run then must have been for Bert out of the the last corner even to clear enough space that Dan Morris wouldn't be having a go into turn 1.
Mark is doing well on them hard. It's only 8.6 seconds behind SH.
Yeah, he's close in terms of gap, but the problem is around Hungary it's overtaking, and the problem he's got 10 other cars between himself and SH at a track where it's difficult to overtake, as you're seeing evidenced by Venom unable to get by SH, and then for the moment two Mercedes behind Bert. But it won't be too long now before we start thinking of some pit stops for the guys in the mediums. It's a nice big gap for them to emerge into behind Timo there in 15th place with unsafe release there. So that's the gap everyone's going to slot into basically. So it's a good opportunity if someone wants to instigate the undercut to do that. A little early right now, but soon you can definitely start thinking about it. Yeah, I would say lap 12 is probably the earliest you might want to think about doing it, but this is actually a better run this time for Venom. SH has not gone defensive, so he's going to leave the door open for Venom, go down the inside into turn 1. Oops, wrong car, side by side still. Venom's going to get a better run on the outside, SH rather, but Venom will have DRS. They'll have to hook it around the outside. Switches down to the inside, but SH has the better traction line, and again holds it through turns 3. No real overtaking opportunities through turn 4 rather, if I get any words out. So nothing doing then in this lap for Venom, but that was the closest he came so far.
What's after closing up to Yarham as well? Was the attempt again?
Yeah, he's threatened to drop out of DRS there, but has stuck with it.
Dan's after dropping out.
Yeah, he has. So that's big for Bert. Give him a bit of breathing room if he can hold it for the rest of this lap. And Jono might be, if it gets close enough, John might be having to have a look. Might swap it either. We'll see. As again, you see the ERS situation. SH has managed to recover a little bit now, but definitely Venom still in the best shape with his. As he unwind out of the last turn. Again, SH gets a good run, and 6/10 the gap between himself and Venom. That should be enough to defend himself, as Venom does reel in, but not close enough. Then let's see then this. So you see no DRS for Dan this time around. Jono is reeling in as well, but again not close enough this time to make a move. So again, you can see the issue. You need so much downforce around this track, and obviously that compromises your straight line speed. So it's like, what do you do? Do you go for the straight line speed, or do you just obviously plan on hooking up aerodynamically, and obviously just make up as much time as possible through that, and then maybe get a better run out of a corner? Hard to say.
We have a back marker up there.
We do. You just have to try and negotiate. This actually might be helpful to SH. As he got the throttle a bit there. Okay, never mind. As Bino pulls up to the side, I was going to say if Bino was still heading up to this activation zone, would have helped SH for a straighter too. But Bino getting out of the way. This battle can continue on. There's a few seconds, 3.4 to Yarm at the back. Still got Bert within his DRS, and Dan has not been able to get back into it either. 1.4 now. But what won't be helping Dan is that Bert does have DRS on Yarm. That is helping a little bit pull away, but he's going to be close. Oh, Venom goes to the dive! There is contact. And a bit more contact given back, but SH will have the inside line this time, unlike previous times. And very stern in his defence is SH. And he keeps that position, but a little bit of impatience maybe being shown there from Venom. Has to be careful now. Ooh, close in the back of, again, it's quite close.
Feisty.
That's why gets a penalty. Almost to the point of that was almost intentional. You'd almost have to say, any further than that. Because he was kicking up quite. It's unusual to close up like that, usually speaking. But it has allowed Yarm to basically pull a second back on these guys. And they're still susceptible to the undercut, Venom and SH. Okay, we've talked about the gap that is there. Big gap between Team 1 unsafe release. Anyone can instigate it. There's so many positions for someone to make up. So who's going to blink first? Because someone can make up a ton of positions. Because it's all so close. Because from first to 11th is covered by under 10 seconds. So there's huge undercuts to be had. But we'll see who instigates them, as Dan has firmly dropped out of DRS now with Bert. So Dan is really struggling. The second part of the first stint, that is more than just losing DRS. To lose that much time, like, this isn't a track with a ton of DRS zones where straight line speed matters a ton. But he's dropped a good bit back, and Jono's also dropped a bit back as well. He's just teetering in that DRS range. And if anything, Yarm's on a big squiggle rather, and Bert goes down the inside out of turn 4. I think a bit more of a more wobbly back ends, as Bert had a little unsettled car, but he's still ahead, and that has definitely helped Dan and Jono and company catch right back up.
What turn? Turn 4?
It was out of turn 4, yeah. But it has allowed the front two to get a bit further away. Now it's nearly 5 seconds now. But Bert is into P3 after that mistake from Yarm. And I thought we were going to see SH at the pits there for a second.
Okay.
But they all carry on as we head on to lap 12 already, Joe. So this is basically the time where if you want to make a pit stop, the option's open to you.
And
so from P13 then, a little bit further back, but could definitely still make something happen, as Bert and Yarm, you can see, almost missed that, and Yarm is back through. Weiberg, Adibaba also having a squabble. You can see side by side, a little bit of contact. Weiberg has to go around the outside. A little bit of contact there from Adibaba, squeezed a little bit there, and he has to carry on. But he keeps the position, so it's interesting now. See how many positions Adam can make up in this lap. We'll see who responds to it. As Dan right up to the back of Bert again. It's tough if you're more so Dan and Jono, and obviously Mark the Man Alibaba, because obviously one of you can come into the pits and do it this lap if that's what you choose. It'd be a bad idea to double stack under racing conditions, but we'll see then what happens. We'll go back with the leaders. Is anyone going to blink? So the leaders are going to stay out. See what someone in this pit is gonna in this little area is gonna
Yeah.
pit. So Yaram pits, Bert,
Oh,
Jono, or sorry, Dan rather. Jono's gonna carry on. Uh, both Alfa Romeos carry on. So that's gonna be interesting then. So how far? Oh, actually, well, SH and Venom. Venom is through. Can he keep the position this time? Yes, he can. He closed up very quickly. He was like 6/10. That's why I didn't go to it at the start, because it was 6/10 or
yeah.
so heading onto that main straight. So I thought he had more than enough. So maybe a dive or a mistake, as Merck has just gone by. Weiberg's made a mistake somewhere, I think, because Weiberg now is slipping down to the field. So where is Adam then? So
I was
he's
gonna
actually
come
a
across
decent
the
bit
line.
behind Yaram, and you can see Bert obviously ahead is there as well. So we'll have to see then with Jono, SH, Venom then where these guys end up. Well, more so actually Jono and Mark and Natty Baba where they end up. But Venom's finally through, and oh, has Merck had an accident? Has he? Someone's had an accident. I think it was Merck, because he's behind Focky, Caesar, and Weiberg now. Having just got ahead. So maybe a spin out of turn 5. His wing looks intact though, but he's under pressure from Timo. That won't have done Merck any favours whatsoever. And Caesar right behind Weiberg, as obviously you can see the difference in tyre. SH is in, Jono also in. Both Alfa Romeos carrying on, so and Weiberg is going to be in now as well. Caesar obviously carries on his hard. So then, where then is who's the first? Who's the person to? I guess it's Burst the person to watch here. See what happens, and where this crowd come out compared to
Oh yeah.
Jono.
Seventh place.
So where is SH has come to be out then? Where's Jono? So his teammate there is Dan Morris. And there's Adam. Adam can't quite get the jump. And Jono's just behind his teammate. So you can see the story there as Bert and Yaram get very, very close. And Dan is 2.2 seconds back in this fight now. So you see the separation that has kind of occurred after the pit stops. But it's still Bert, as he started, pretty much an effective P3. So interesting that Venom didn't pit. His rival is in space. He's got a lap, has he? He has. It's an unusual one. So, because SH is in space, he's in 3.7 seconds of space before he comes with Timo. But that being said, it could be a situation like the Singapore Grand Prix as Mark Demand is in. Because you imagine that SH will catch up to the back of Timo. But how easy can he overtake him? That's the other thing. So maybe Venom's waiting for that, but we'll see as they carry around. So just Mark Demand in that lap. Most people now ditch those mediums. There's a handful of runners left running on them, as Yarm now within the DRS of Bert, and he is reeling him in. Bert hasn't gone defensive. Oh, thought about a late jink to the right, but Yarm goes down the inside, and still side by side. Bert, well, at the outside, isn't at the DRS, of course, but can he swing this around turn 2? You'll flag a sector 2, not sure what that is for, but Bert now behind Yarm, and Yarm then into the effective P3. Who is off in sector 2? It's D-Bear, and he's about to be lapped by this group there in a second. Just coming up to them. You can see the Renault in front of Yarm, and carries on the chicane, so no harm done there. Two Mercedes still quite close together. No flag a bit further up the field. No, nothing quite, but Venom still carries on. So what's his gap to SH then? It is 20 seconds. So I think he's going to play the tyre game here as Adibaba comes into the pits. So I think he's clearly going to be overtaken by SH once he comes in, providing SH doesn't lose too much time behind the Renault of Timo.
He's catching.
Well, he should be catching because he's got much fresher tyres.
What is the pit stop around here?
It's not long, but I think it's short 20s.
Yeah.
But I still think SH should jump Venom at this rate, especially because now SH is this will be what, his third lap at the end of this lap on those On those hards, we know
Yeah.
undercut's quite powerful around here. So we'll see how it works out, but again, Bert not quite out of DRS of Yarm, still quite very much so there. And the two Mercedes not too far behind that either. Dan, then Jono. You can see Alibaba is coming out a few seconds behind his teammates, also behind Weiberg, as now Venom does come into the pits. So here he is then, the race leader, coming into the pits for his one and only stop. Our compound tyres, where is SH coming around the last corner now, and he's just reached the DRS of Timo. So this might have not worked out the way Venom would have wanted. Let's see then. SH has the fastest lap of the race. There is Venom. Does it say? Oh, it's SH, sorry, for the fastest lap of the race. Anyways, SH is through. Venom is there, but 3-lap difference in the tyres is what it is between Venom and SH. We'll see how much it matters come the end of it. Overtaking here is so difficult. But they have to negotiate Timo first. This is what I was saying. Maybe SH would, or Venom would have been better off actually just Timo lets him go. So maybe not then. Will he make life difficult for Venom? It's a bit tough, isn't it? That he's obviously let SH go so easily, and then Venom has to fight a bit harder to get by, which is part of the track, though. Still, I still think Timo's still entitled to run his race and not have to pull over to the side and let people by, even though he's for a legit position, even if they're not on the same strategy. But maybe just wanting to avoid any contact if possible. I think the hint of contact, he's had too much of it recently. Yellow flag in sector 2 is a D-Bear off once again at the exit of I think the entrance of turn 5 actually. So Bert's still behind Jarman, so he basically just taken to half distance just about once Caesar crosses the line. And there it is, lap 18 of 35, and SH is the effective race leader. They has dropped Venom out of DRS, at least for the time being, something that Yarm hasn't managed to do on Bert for now. And Dan hasn't been able to creep into it either, and his teammate Jono's just right there as well.
I think Dan should let Jono going close up there.
You think so?
Team orders, yeah.
Interesting. I don't know. It's a tough one.
Because he was stuck behind him for the whole first stint of this.
It's tough. It's a tough one. Yeah. As Merck picks up a penalty. Merck is currently in second, but of course he had to make a stop, and a stop for him would put him 14th or so.
Yeah.
So not helped by his spin, of course, but he's also got the effective race leader to contend with as well, coming up soon. SH there. Is he just? Yes, he's just within the DRS, just creeping in there at the last part of the lap, and use that to reel in the Williams. Of course, it'd be difficult to make an overtake this time round, but next time round you would imagine that it should be a fairly easy move in the end. Not a whole lot going on, really, is there? Like, there's a couple of people within DRS, but obviously with Hungary it's so difficult to overtake, and the strategy is fairly straightforward. The one interesting thing to note here is that Dan Morris has not got, he's got basically a third ERS compared to John, who's basically running full ERS. So race leaders approaching Merck now. Of course, you have to make a stop in this race. Oh, Bert's through, yes. Dan, will he get through as well? Down the inside. I think he is. Let's see. Yes, he's through, and will Jono be able to follow through as well? Oh, bit of contact, and that almost put Jono around at the front. We'll just keep an eye on this. Merck dives into the pits, so that releases that overtake. So that's disastrous there for Yarm. I think he was in a very good spot, and an instant, I guess, just coming out of the chicane. Then I'm guessing. But we'll see what straight line speed is like. He's very close to Dan. Of course, Dan's got no DRS. And he goes down the inside then on the Mercedes, and he should be able to take this one back. Dan gets a better run. I have turn one, a bit of a wobble on the exit, but Yarm will have DRS and the inside line. And he can go through there, and he is indeed. That's Yarm back then into P6, but he's lost the position and 2 seconds effectively on Bert in 5th.
Yeah, not really much happening. Leaders will catch up to Caesar.
It's actually Venom that's done the most catching up here on this last few laps. Still second behind Caesar, but Venom's got from out of DRS then to back well within range, and range of an overtake as well. And unless SH can nip into the DRS of Caesar, he's just managed to do so into this second to last corner. He was going to be in trouble there for a second because Venom was right there with DRS, but thankfully now, for SH's sake, he has the DRS, and that should protect him this time around as they trade fastest laps of Venom. Then even still is catching up, and that just shows you how important it was. Oh, he's gone for it down the inside. SH would not have seen that coming right away, so definitely caught a little bit napping there, definitely caught by surprise, and a bit more contact between the two. And SH then, so it's been very punchy between these two all race long. You'd imagine maybe sooner rather than later, maybe something's going to pop off. I see Adibaba ahead of Weiberg there. Merck just ahead of Adam. But at the moment, SH holding on to the effective race lead. But just about.
Yeah, push. Venom was pushing up again.
And they're just right behind Caesar then as well, who won't be too far away from his own pit stop. Should be very soon actually. Will Venom go for the move into this corner? No. Thinks better of it. And we'll see what Caesar does then. Activation point's not too far away. And he does dive into the pits. Will he still have DRS? He will. So, even though Caesar's diving into the pits, still across that activation point. So this lap then, he should be safe, but next lap possibly one where SH could be a little bit more vulnerable. Especially into this turn one where Venom has gone for a few dives, you have to say.
Just a few.
Oh, there's an Alfa Romeo off.
Oh, Adibaba.
I think out of the last corner. And it is Adibaba. Fuck, he almost went right into him. And is he missing part of that front wing? I'm sure he is. Yes, he absolutely is. So that's a tough one for Adibaba. You got Adam. He's just behind Caesar. Of course, he just made that stop. And Caesar has the better tyres and can make that one work then for him. So important for him not to end up behind anyone he doesn't need to be behind in many ways, because obviously medium tyres on that car. You see he's not too far behind Merck either. Of course, they were close before they made the stops. Merck just a second and a half, less than that even, in front of Caesar, but with 2 lap older tyres.
Yeah. I think better might have another dive.
You tired there? Bit of a wobble for Venom out of that last turn, but he's definitely reeling. SH covers a bit more of the inside this time, so switch back time for Venom very easy out of turn 1. He will have DRS, and SH is defending to the left hand side, moves a bit more to the centre as Merck sets the fastest lap of the race. Now, it will be worth a point being inside the top 10, as Caesar looks like he's got by Weiberg, and that's for P10. Is actually a very easy move in the end for him. And again, getting very close as they climb the hill of turn 5. So SH then has managed to recover a lot of ERS then, so he's done well. Because definitely a big disadvantage of his earlier in the race, but he's definitely turned it around. And they both have a lot to play with, so is that going to be enough to save him? He's got 12 and a half laps, including the one they're on, to try and defend against Venom. Can he hold on, Joe, for the win?
SH? Yes.
You think so? I think it goes without saying any penalty at the front here will basically decide the race. Whether
Yeah.
it be one way or another, whether it's Venom or SH, it's definitely going to decide matters here. But we'll see. No penalties as of yet. And SH again safe down into turn 1. But by the end of it, he's definitely been pushed around. Again, Jono getting close to the back of his teammate. But as it's been a constant 5/10 or so throughout most of this race.
Have to just swap like second one. What's going on?
No idea.
Nothing. Man. Yeah, back again.
As Adams now dispatched to Weiberg. That's for P10. We're still watching the battle for the lead though. It's the closest battle on track, that's for sure. And one that carries the most weight. Not that this would do a ton of difference in the well, actually, no, I take it back. It means a lot in the terms of the championship, because this is 7 points gained for SH, and that basically takes his lead into the 60s. Whereas Venom, if he can get it, can basically cut it back down under 50 or just under 50, and there'd be something as they head into the second part of this season. Yellow flag in sector 2. I think that's unsafe. Yeah, that's right. Just getting out of the way. So 7/10 then, the gap between Venom and SH, I think SH again will have this covered, so he's got to have a blind overlap of him somewhere as Venom to get close enough to try and make this overtake. Where's Merck? Merck's just behind Mark Demand, so even despite that little spin earlier and his unfortunate qualifying, Merck is still looking like in a good spot. It just shows you how strong his race pace has been.
Yeah, he's looking well, so he's fair. Mark Demand on the side. 7 now. Next you have Jono and Dan Morris.
That's going to be tasty. He's 3.5 seconds behind, and with 11 laps to go around, including the one they're on, you'd say it's definitely reachable. So, oh, actually they swapped.
Jono, Dan Morris.
Have they swapped, or did Dan Morris go very? I think Dan Morris has run very wide, because look at he's over a second behind now. Jono, that's not just a swap, and he's see there very, very squirmy as he's heading through turn 4.
Mark really just about out and take into the wall.
And still only 2 seconds behind Dan, so barely lost any time though, all things considered, compared to in the grand scheme of things.
As Venom and SH go again.
Again, been about 5 or so tenths. A bit closer this time than he was last time. Is that going to be enough though? SH feeling the danger, pulls over to the right hand side, then back to the left hand side. Set the door open for Venom to go down the inside. He does once again. More contact, but still side by side, and still Venom will hold this inside line, or SH rather, forcing Venom to go around the outside, and he can't switch back. You can see, and once again SH defending well. See how much he gains. Oh, he's going to go down the inside to 5, is he? SH left the space, to be fair. But the problem going down the inside of 5 is you have to hug the curb a bit, don't you? And that's the last curb you want to touch on this track. It's the turn 5 curb.
Yeah, definitely. And Merck is only 1.2 now behind Dan Morris.
Yeah, reeling him in. And he's going to have no DRS to defend himself.
Caesar is just there as well. He's in Mark Demand.
The smartest thing for Mercedes to do would be to back Jono into Dan to give him DRS, and that might help save him from Merck, but I'm not sure. This is the closest I've definitely seen Venom heading out of the last corner. So he's going to have a great opportunity to have this move done before turn 1, which has been the case all this entire race. So circumstances have now changed. Will SH be the one then to make the late dive, and Venom moves across, covers the line, and has DRS. I think finally he has this move done, but now comes the second phase. Can he pull away enough so that even with DRS, SH won't be a threat?
What tenths to go?
He was watching Caesar go around the outside of Martin Band through turn 2 and then through 3. That's a nice move from Caesar, of course, on the medium compound tyres, and he moves into 8th now. He's also going to be chasing this pack as Caesar on Jono and Dan. He's only 2.3 seconds behind Merck. and he has got fresher tyres than everyone in front of him. So we'll see what happens come the end of the race, but certainly could be looking at a very good result here for both Merck and Caesar, having started on the hard combat tyres. Caesar actually started from the back of the grid, if you remember.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So, so he has done very well, which is concerning heading into Friday. But,
sorry. Oh.
So then, here we go then. SH not close enough to make a move on Venom, even with DRS this time around, but this will be a very easy move in the end. See Caesar there in the background. Dan tries to cover the inside, but Merck is just going to be too much for Dan to cope with. Can he get a little switch back though? Just better traction for Merck, and Merck then moves up into 6th place. A shame really, I think he could be right near the front, could Merck, if he had a qualifying, pretty much, if he set a time inside the top 10 on his tyres. As Burke gets a penalty, that could be important in deciding the podium, because Yarm is still right there, just a second behind. And next for Merck is of course Jono, and if you can get within DRS at the end of the slap, he'll be doing well. We'll see what happens, as Venom is close to getting that 1 second window that he needs. He's certainly going to be safe in a straight line down this straight, but it's definitely getting close. And Dan could do himself a few favours as well by keeping within DRS here of Merck, which he's going to do this lap. You can see Merck,
DRS on John.
he has, and he'll be safe enough this time round. SH, you can see, too far back, and Merck will be too far back this time round, but heading next time round has a great chance to take P5 off of the second Mercedes. Heck, he's close enough even to do it this time round, but that's a big one. A 3-second penalty for Venom, heading either in or out of turn 4, but that then flips this race on its head, because I believe SH does not have a penalty. Joe, if you want to check how many warnings they actually have.
Yes.
As Merck has caught up to the back of Jono and desperately trying to find a way past.
That is Venom's second penalty.
Is it?
Yes.
Timo's off at turn 5. Thankfully his car ghosted, and once again Focky almost getting collected. What's this? So SH's got no penalties then, I'm assuming.
2 warnings.
So SH is firmly in the driving seat then. I didn't realise Venom had 2 penalties.
Well, he got that one there.
Bit of a snap of oversteer for Merck. Is he a bit too far back to make a move on Jono? See what his traction's like heading out of this last corner. But Caesar 1.1 then behind Dan for P7. So Dan still got DRS on Merck, but again, for how much longer can he hold it, as Yarm getting close to the back of Burt then as well. We know he's got a penalty to contend with as well. So Ferrari look like they could get a very good handful of points at this race, as things currently stand.
Yeah, 1-3. Ferrari.
You can see Merck hustling and harrying Jono in front of him, but again, just at the wrong part of the track, he's behind him. And to be honest, if we're talking about, tyres for mediums, pitting lap 12 or whatever, I think Merck is beginning to lose a bit of his performance from these mediums.
Yeah, he's getting a bit of a wiggle and
so I think he's struggling here, and he's only going to continue to struggle as the end of this one comes, as SH gets close to the back of Venom, but not close enough to make a lunge down the inside, as Venom did countless times so far in this one. But here we go then. Let's see if Merck can actually get a move done on Jono, as Jono goes defensive. Oh, it's very close at the front, but still Venom leads, and Merck is going to go around the outside, go try to switch back. Jono goes very, very deep, and that is a simple move in the end, but John looks like he's going to keep that position on his teammate as Caesar now enters the fray. And maybe the best thing for these Mercedes is to just keep within DRS of each other.
Yeah, stay together.
Because it will definitely protect them from Caesar. Maybe not a ton, but maybe enough that maybe they have enough straight line speed. We'll see. It's obviously tough to fight against, you know, a softer compound tyre and obviously much fresher as well. So this is definitely a battle for P5 rather. Yarm and Bert are a lot further up the road. 5 seconds, and then they're a good chunk behind the two pace setters, Venom and SH. And SH is actually maybe in a position this time around to make a move. Venom's not gone defensive. If he is, he's going to be a late one. And SH goes down the inside into turn 1. Venom tries to switch back. He's got the better exit, but SH will have the DRS. Oh, this is very aggressive stuff. Somehow there isn't wing damage, and SH is through. I'm not sure. Have a look at that in a sec. Caesar wasn't able to get close enough this time around to make the overtake. The wing looks intact. Not sure, there might still be damage, but it definitely looks like it's still all there. See about SH as they head through this chicane. Yeah, it looks all to be there still, but definitely elbows out for that one. So we are on lap 32 or 35 already, Joe. This race has actually gone by fairly quickly.
Yeah, it's not so bad. Grand.
Hopefully it goes by this quickly on Friday.
Yeah, I feel sorry
for Division 3, but SH then looking like he's pulling out enough of a lead. Of course, the penalty situation is in his favour anyway. So, but for Pride, of course. So the main battle to watch, I suppose, is this one for P7, I guess.
Caesar is licking his lips, ready to pounce.
But can he? He's gonna have a great chance this time out, even with DRS on the back of that Mercedes, just using the tyres. And he opens it, and even with just on pure slipstream alone, he should be able to make this move. I'm surprised Dan hasn't gone defensive on this one, but he hasn't. And Caesar can go down the inside. Dan on the outside, he will have DRS. And the inside line. Getting very, very close. Caesar is going to have to go around the outside, and Dan cuts it off. So good defense there from Dan. Better exit out of turn 1 certainly helped. And although the only problem is though, he squabbles. Caesar picks up a 3-second penalty, so I was just going to say the more he squabbles, the more he kind of lets John get out of DRS, but I suppose it doesn't matter now that Caesar has a penalty. That one,
Venom has dropped to 1.1 now.
He has. I don't
he does.
think it matters too much. You can just bring the car home.
He had that light green, yellowy kind of damage, I think.
Olive.
That colour, yeah.
Yeah, possibly. But anyways, he's.
These are both down the inside. Dan Morris.
That's not a common overtaking place, to be fair, which is why I wasn't expecting it. But he is through, even though he's got a penalty to contend with. But he won't have DRS. And will that come back to bite him? As Dan, you go down the inside. No, thinks about it. See if you can get a better turn. One exit this time again, and you can see Caesar holding on to that one. So for now, Caesar has P7, but again, we know he's got a penalty, and I don't believe Dan does.
No, there's 2 warnings.
So I guess we're just settling down. You know, Bert and Yarm. Again, Yarm doesn't have to actually do anything because Bert obviously has a penalty. I don't believe Yarm has got a penalty. Yarm rather has got a penalty. The only thing that comes to mind for action that's for definite position. Well, team is going to get by Focky here in a sec, I believe, for 12th place. But possibly, if Merck's tyres die these last 2 laps, last lap even, last lap, maybe you could have a chance, but I'm not sure. I think Merck's going to hold on to P5, though Merck does have a penalty, I believe, as well, so have to take that into consideration as well. Flexer 2, unsafe release is out of this race. He was in P16. Anyway, so we're going to have 17, 17 finish, Joe, by the looks of it.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Oh,
There's another penalty for Venom. Not that matters.
oh, it does. Oh, it does.
Why? Bert's got a penalty.
Yarham could get the 1-2. It'd be the 1-2 for Aaron.
He's just out of 9 seconds.
Yeah.
Is Yarn, but he's pent up behind Bert, and he can't really do much about it. But here is SH, so it's another win for him, and he edges ever closer to the Division 2 title. It's only round 12, but he is very much in control of this championship, and again today he's been in control of proceedings when it mattered. He comes around the final corner, and he's turned another race win into his liking. It's another win for him. Venom comes across the line in second. We'll see then what happens then here. So 4/10 of a second then is what cost Yarm a chance at the Ferrari 1-2. Bert then comes ahead to finish 4th, Jono 5th, Dan 6th, Merck just about missing out there on P6 by 42 thousandths. He finishes 7th. Caesar finishes 8th. Good job from him from the back of the grid. Mark Demand comes on the 9th. Very quiet race for Adam, I think, in the end. After the first stint, he finishes in 10th. Focky 11th, Timo then 12th, Weiberg 13th. Matter will come across to finish 14th. Alibaba, fair play to Alibaba for carrying on. Who got fastest lap in the end, actually? It was Caesar, so Caesar will gets the well, he's a reserve, the point there. And 15th place for him, and we just wait on D-Bear then to finish, I believe, 3 laps down, maybe?
3 and a bit. 2 and a bit.
So yeah, oh, you're right. There's almost a surprise second place there for Yarm there, Joe. But 4/10 of a second cost him in the end.
Fortunately, but a good result for Ferrari. 1-3.
Yeah, I believe that's the another podium for Yarm. I think he's had 2 back-to-back now, and those are his obviously an absolute mare. Before Germany, his best finish was 10th for Yarm. So it just shows you how poor his season's been between DNFs and being unavailable. But back-to-back podiums now for Yarm, and he can begin to climb a little bit further up in the standings. We still got a lot of work to do. His teammate very much in control, but this does help Ferrari though, for sure, in the constructors, obviously. Even if Yarm is a little bit further behind in terms of points, not the only 10th place for Adam today. So Red Bull losing out a lot of positions then, or points rather, compared to Ferrari. But it is SH who wins ahead of Venom in 3rd, Yarm in 4th, Bert in 5th, Bert in 4th, Jono in 5th, Dan in 6th in the end, Merck 7th, Caesar in 8th, Mark the Man 9th, and Adam then rounds out the points in 10th place. With Focky, Timo, Weiberg, Matter, Alibaba, and even unsafe release, though he DNF'd, is still classified ahead of D-Bear and Bino. So there you go. That's your lot from the Hungarian Grand Prix. The big riser, I think, in that was Yarm for sure. Starting from 6th, made some moves early on.
Oh, Caesar.
Yeah, but like in terms of the top 3, top 5.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick driver of the day, Caesar had a good job. Yarm did pretty well as well. I'm gonna go with. I'll probably go Yarm, to be fair.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Made some overtakes, especially in the early phase of the race, which is difficult. So good pace. Just missed out there on penalties on 4/10 in the end from Venom in 2nd. So yeah, I think solid enough job from him. But that's going to do it for round number 12 of the Masters Championship Division 2. Next up for these guys is going to be Spa, Belgian Grand Prix next time. But for TMC, I believe Friday night, obviously 8 o'clock, same track. See if that race will match up to this one. But Anyways, thanks for watching, and until next time.
Bye.